Hello, Robots in Disguise fans. We are back for another episode of the AFTERBUZZ TV Transformers Robots in Disguise After Show. Today we are looking at Season 4, Episode 20, Prisoner Principles. Crab walk your way over and we'll see you after the opening.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
I think I'm allowed to forget our catchphrase every once in a while.
Rev up and roll out. Was that it?
Yeah. I thought I was being all creative with the crab walk.
Crab people.
Crab people.
You know what? It's not that big a deal. It's totally fine. Happens to the best of us.
And it also happens to me. Hi. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the AFTERBUZZ TV Robots in Disguise After Show. As I said, we are looking at Season 4, Episode 20, Prisoner Principles. Unfortunately, our wrecker is down with a case of toxin poisoning, so tweet her your best wishes at atorres890. I have with me, what do you have?
Nothing. It's fine. It's something in the hashtag.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that already. I was thinking about that when I drove in.
I'm only just now looking at the hashtag, and so I'm making the exact same expression that the GIF is making.
I have with me Megan, Lord Megatron Salinas.
Hey guys, you can tweet at me at the Menguin. That's TheMenguin.
And I am Katie Kia Prime Cullen. You can follow me all over the social medias at KiaXet. That is KIAXET. We have a hashtag ABTVRID if you want to say any fun things on Twitter or throw us gifts or art or whatever the heck else you want to put in there. For those of you watching live, we also have a live chat on YouTube. Keep in mind that the podcasts are now streaming live on the AFTERBUZZ TV animation channel. We've split things up a little bit, so if you have something fun to say, throw it in the hashtag, throw it in the live chat, you may well get a shout out. And with a little more news on that channel split, Megan, how about we tell them about that?
Yes! Hi, super fans! Before we dive into today's show, we wanted to remind you about exciting changes at our network. You may have noticed that Robots in Disguise After Show now airs on a brand new YouTube channel. That's because we're catering content to match your wants, and all of our shows currently live live on content-specific verticals. Since you're a fan of our show, all of the content on this channel, including our show, should be right up your... that is the AFTERBUZZ animation channel. Sorry about that.
We're having a great time tonight, you
exactly.
guys.
My mind was blown from Twitter just a moment ago. Should be right up your alley, so hit that subscribe button right now. We have 9 genre-based YouTube channels, which you can find on the homepage of this channel. Subscribe to your favorites. AFTERBUZZ is the leader in custom TV coverage, and we're always looking to improve. Let us know what you think on all social media platforms at AFTERBUZZ TV, or email us at info@afterbuzztv.com. For reference, the different channels that we have are comedy, drama, sci-fi, superhero, fantasy, that's all one channel, reality TV, reality competition, animation, wrestling, /sports, red carpet /events, featured and original content.
So if you really like Robots in Disguise and you really don't like Survivor, you can subscribe to one channel and not get Survivor in your feed, or vice versa. But if that's the case, then why are you listening to this podcast? I really don't like this show. I'm going to listen to the after show.
If you live for our Steven Universe after show, but don't particularly care for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or Z Nation or some of the other stuff that we do, this is a good way of being able to sort of manage your subscription feed.
Yes. God, I miss Steven Universe.
I know, right? Sorry, I was just looking at it. There was a really cute GIF earlier, and it was adorable.
That is same channel, different show. So let's talk about this a little bit. I was not expecting essentially a takeoff on the Geneva Conventions.
Oh, the Kaon.
In here, yeah.
It's funny because I kind of
the
forgot.
crayon conversation.
I kind of forgot how important the city of Kaon was to the Transformers universe. It is kind of like the go-to central hub of everything important that happens on Cybertron.
Didn't it also get taken over by the Decepticons?
It did.
Wasn't that a thing?
It's where Megatron did his gladiatorial matches. It's the first city that the Decepticons took over and made their capital. And after the war, after Cybertron was restored, it's the city that we're initially introduced to at the very start of this series.
That's
that
true.
B and company are in charge of patrolling.
That's true.
I keep forgetting how important Kaon is.
It's kind of the room where it happens.
the Cybertronian city. Which BT dubs, what do Cybertronian apartments look like?
Probably larger than the ones in LA.
Yeah, metropolitan. Well, they would have to be. Giant robots live in them.
That's the joke.
Yes.
That's the joke. I'm imagining
That's
like
kind
super upscale chrome New York.
I mean, that's kind of what the city looked like. But again, I'm really wondering, like, how high are the high-rise ceilings? Is there a rent problem like there is here in Los Angeles because it's super impacted?
Given how
population-wise?
corrupt Cybertron seems to be, I'm going to go with yes.
How much Shanix does it cost to rent a studio apartment in the city of Kaon? I have to know these things.
How much does it cost to rent a single-car garage in the city of Kaon? Same difference, right?
Yep, exactly.
Anyway, so I have 2 large bullet points on my notes today, and they are in order: nukes and clampdown. So what do we want to address first?
Let's go with Clampdown because
Let's talk about crab people. God bless this ridiculous tunneling plan. Like, we can't go through a long-running villain without at least one tunnel plan. We gotta go underground at some point.
I'm not quite sure why, but yeah. And it's funny because in the last few episodes, they've been making Clampdown do literally all of their digging.
They really have. I feel like 2 episodes ago he had a shovel, though.
Maybe?
And then this one, it's just like, you with the crab claws. These are obviously suited to digging things. Why don't you go? And it's because no one likes him.
Yeah. I mean, Thunderhoof certainly hates him.
And I just love it. Like, oh, they captured Clampdown. Great. They probably know 100% of our plan now because Clampdown.
Just like,
I just love the, I'll tell you what you want to know, and you let me go. Okay? Great. Let's do this. Well, we never agreed, but thanks. This is how Clampdown keeps getting into this trouble, because he's just a motor mouth.
That's what
he doesn't think.
You can't be in the mob if you're a snitch. I'm sorry, Mr. Crab Person, but you can't be in the mob if you're constantly selling people out with their secrets. I'm sorry, it's just wrong career path for you. At some point, you need to ask yourself, is it worth it to be a Decepticon anymore? Because you are clearly not good at it.
But he would also sell out the Autobots the second a Decepticon hunted him down. Like, he just needs to work retail or something.
Something neutral. Something completely neutral, like straight up middle of the alignment spectrum, where he can either betray everybody or nobody. I don't know.
Like I said, he needs to work retail.
Yeah.
If something bad happens, he can just call the manager.
There you go. But the manager would probably hate him for, like, spilling all of the water cooler talk secrets. I don't know. Do secrets happen at the water cooler?
I don't think you get water coolers in retail. Not in America.
I mean, there might be one in the break room in the back.
I think we overestimate retail break rooms.
Probably. And by the back, I mean like the storage room in the back that doubles as a break room and office and everything else.
We're both a little bitter about retail work, aren't we?
Yeah, it's fine.
Everyone's done it. It's not the best. Anyway, now that we're looking at Clampdown's career prospects.
Talking about Clampdown, I've always liked that there was one just straight up coward within this group, because it had the potential for a lot of conflict and a lot of interesting dynamic. And I love his dynamic with Thunderhoof the most because it's just hilarious.
Oh my god.
And so it was kind of nice seeing this con get an extra little bit of dimension to him.
Clampdown talking is just one of the best things. Partially because I could listen to Jim Cummings forever.
Yeah, Jim Cummings could read the phone book and it would be hilarious somehow.
And partially because, yeah, he's hilarious. I'll be back before you could say boo. I said boo 300 times! Repeating what he thinks are witty lines to a different audience, which I do that all the time, you guys. But yeah, yeah, she knows.
Wasn't funny the first time.
Maybe it's funny the 50th time.
You're like, oh, I'd hate to be punished, and it's like, I'm so. Sorry.
It's beautiful and I love it.
Ugh.
Don't you get crabby at me.
God. Okay, never mind. Recap show over. Bye, guys. This was fun.
It's been very short tonight, but we're out and bye.
But yeah, Jim Cummings gives a hilarious performance. And again, it's one of those things where personality-wise, he's so different from every other Decepticon that we have on the team. You know, he's not a macho guy. He's just a guy literally doing whatever he can to scrape by and survive.
And mostly doing it poorly.
Yeah.
Notice that they made him and the Redditor dig the tunnel.
Yeah.
And we have fight against oppression and run away from oppression.
That was pretty good.
He thinks quickly, but he doesn't think well.
I mean,
I feel like that's oh my God, he's so expressive.
Yes, he's insanely expressive. And I think that's, again, kind of ties back to the performance. Because when Jim Cummings is giving a vocal performance, you definitely want your character to emote even more so to match.
Oh my God, yeah. I think the eye stalks help. Like, just his design is incredibly expressive. And I have to wonder how much of this was ad-libbed on Jim's coming part. I have to wonder that. Especially you're under arrest. Oh my God, that's my job. Like, just him yelling things and saying things. And just, like I said, I could listen to him talk forever.
Yeah, we've had Jim on for other after shows, not for this one, but definitely, I feel like whoever's hired him for whatever show he's on, I feel like they just let him go, and then they're like, okay, we'll do one where you actually look at the script, but yeah, just talk. It's fine.
We need 15 minutes of you just talking in character about whatever. Let's go.
But
those are audio bloopers that I need in my life.
Of all of the characters to sort of saddle him with, or to get saddled with him in this episode, Strong Arm, of all people, actually is a pretty good match in terms of comedy.
Anyone else would have ditched him very quickly.
Yeah.
With the exception of B, anyone else would have just been like, bye. I'm just gonna cuff you to a tree. You stay here.
Yeah. And let's be honest, that's one of the reasons why the cons keep getting away.
Just gonna stick people to a tree. So we had a lot of conversation about the ethical treatment of prisoners, which, again, isn't something I was really expecting in a show aimed at 9 to 12-year-olds, but I rather like it.
I'm all about it.
Especially since we
get
have
those mature themes in there.
Especially since we have the whole, you can't pick and choose, you can't cart him around and then get rid of him when it's convenient to you. If you're going to say you're following the Kaon conventions, then you're gonna follow them. The spirit of the law versus the letter of the law.
This is one of those things where I really wish policymakers and more adults would occasionally watch cartoons, because we have such a huge incarceration problem in this country, like to a ridiculous degree. Not to get too political, but
for-profit prisons.
Privatized prisons, the corruption and the overpopulation and the basically cyclical nature of recidivism in prisons. It's enough to drive a person mad.
And how your race and your economic status factor heavily into whether or not you're getting an arrest or a slap on the wrist.
Yeah. A warning or, yeah. Ugh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like we said, not to get too political, but it's also because it's such a horrible thing that we don't talk about enough in society. I really like that this show, in a very, accessible way to kids, decided, hey, this is a really, really complicated issue. Let's just introduce the concept to kids and give it to them in a palatable way, because again, it is such a huge, enormous issue in our country that I feel like is something, it's a conversation that needs to be had, and we shouldn't shy away from having it with kids.
Yeah. And I think we also had it as like a stark contrast to Decepticon behavior. Like, there are prisoners, we need to treat them well, and you just see the cons throwing people around, throwing each other around, not caring. Like, it's a very stark contrast, and I think that's the point. Like, you can have your enemy locked up somewhere and still be a decent person to them.
Yeah.
And I find it interesting that a lot of this came back to be because he was the only one that was fighting in the war. I have no idea when the Kaon conventions came about, but I'm like 95% certain that most Decepticons didn't follow them.
Well, it was probably post-war. Let's be honest, dealing with POWs and things like that. I don't imagine there were a lot of rules during the Cybertronian Civil War.
Survive?
Yeah.
Maybe?
Yeah, contracts and things and treaties and stuff like that kind of go out the window when a country is at war with itself.
And when your entire planet dies, well, meh.
Who's gonna stop us? Exactly.
You know, several millennia later, we'll just go to another planet and try it again.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, turns out it's actually Satan down there. This is the perfect planet for a war.
Now, which one is Satan again?
Does it matter?
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
It does too. They are very distinct bots. I will not let this go. They are not interchangeable. I will say too, also, to kind of go back to that in terms of like just a general theme of like kindness begetting kindness, or, you know, just generally speaking, human decency being treated to your enemy, like that can come back around. It doesn't necessarily mean it'll change anybody or change anybody's mind, but towards the end there, it's Clampdown that's able to help get them out of there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm just saving my own skin, and yeah, that's true.
Because I legitimately thought that was the only reason he was doing. It's like, oh, thanks for saving us. You? Mm-mm.
Yeah, but at the same time, like, it was a team effort and they all got through.
True.
And he was really just trying to save his own skin, then he wouldn't have, he could have bolted after that.
This is also true.
Yeah.
Actually, I think Strongarm probably had a pretty good grip on him after that. Like, congratulations, you're still our prisoner. And do you really want to go back to Thunderhoof?
She came back to get him, and he did not leave them to die.
This is true.
I feel like he could have had the opportunity, and he didn't.
This is also
Doesn't make him a good guy.
No.
It doesn't mean he wouldn't have left them if the circumstances had been a little different. I'm just saying this scenario and the way that it's presented to us, she didn't leave him behind, he didn't leave them behind. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I think he's also starting to learn what side his bread is buttered on.
That's fair, too. I don't know, he looked pretty cozy in that relaxation
Best
pod.
sell I've ever had.
Was he the only
And the
one that, like,
chairs.
didn't destroy the chair?
Yes.
Oh, poor Denny.
He's the only one that did not. No, Quillfire is the only one that didn't destroy the chair. He was sitting on the chair and it broke under him.
Oh.
So you're down 3 for 4 chairs because Underbite decided he needed a snack. Bless you.
I mean,
and Thunderhoof was just taking out some anger.
Yeah, for
Which
sure.
I want to talk about this camo that they get, which it's pretty smart in getting them just through the gate, but are you really going to let a tractor with camo go through? Why would you have a nuclear tractor?
I was gonna say, yeah,
It's a great band name.
There's a flaw in this strategy. You know, being robots in disguise, good strategy. Being a tractor, even if you do have the necessary camouflage, so to speak, at a
You're
nuclear
still a
facility,
tractor.
you're still a tractor. And not to mention that Underbite was also still his Cybertronian vehicle self.
Yeah, but there's been some really weird technology in the city. I wouldn't be surprised if they were just kind of like, well, you're vaguely car-like. Is that the new Tesla?
I don't. I'm not giving them credit. I'm like, no.
No
These
one
are
ever
just the
said.
Decepticons that are just haphazardly forming plans.
No one ever
Camouflage,
said.
good idea. Not changing your vehicle type, bad idea.
No one ever said that Crown City was full of smart people. I think we've proven the exact opposite over the course of 4 seasons.
I still don't. How did they get past security? Even if you have the right truck, you still usually have to show some sort of identification or barcode to get you through the gate.
Spiromorph Music says, it's an energy farm. And Beast Wars fan, when did we get a tractor for our company?
I mean, I guess in a way, a nuclear facility in some ways be called an energy farm.
Sure, let's go with that.
Still don't know what you would need a tractor for.
But that horrifying neon yellow color scheme, just like, oh.
I gotta say, I think out of all of them, Underbite probably makes it work the best.
True.
And Quill,
But it's still like a highlighter yellow.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. Like, we got a little sample of this back in season 2 when the Autobots were doing the desert camouflage and the ice camouflage. And so this is obviously just the palette swap for the Decepticons for this line of toys. But yeah, looking at it, I was just kind of sad. I was just like, Steeljaw, like, his color scheme is so cool, and Thunderhoof's color scheme is so cool. The bright neon does not work for those two bots.
No, it really doesn't.
I will say it works for Underbite, but yeah, not for those two bots. And Quillfire, to an extent, at least the blue quills are kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, but...
I mean, Quillfire is always iffy. You never know what to do with the Redditor.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, definitely Steeljaw. Go back to your normal color scheme. It suits you much better. Although you are a very unhinged bot, so I'm not expecting you to do anything that makes sense.
So tilted, still tilted.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Tilted to the point where he actually, last week I was praising the show for always letting Strongarm get the best of him. And he's gotten to the point where he's so tilted that he actually does manage to overpower her in this episode. Which I was like, oh man, I was super disappointed by.
A lot of people getting thrown around. Like I said, Decepticons have a habit of just throwing people around.
Yep, they do. And again, he's just so blinded by rage that I think everybody's underestimating him.
Although I think this is the first episode in a while that he hasn't done some gruesome form of torture towards Bumblebee. Like... It's been pretty wild.
He's like, I'm gonna electrocute you. I'm gonna take a jackhammer to your chest.
One for each eye. Dude. Wow.
Calm down. Calm down, Steeljaw.
So yeah, I think this is the first time in a couple episodes that has not been his direct focus.
Yeah.
It's been a lot more just grab the stuff and leave.
Mm-hmm.
It's also the biggest success they've had against these Decepticons ever since they came back, because 4 in one go is a lot.
Which begs the question of what is Steeljaw going to do now that all of his lackeys are gone?
Well, from the looks of it, meet completely with Soundwave.
Yeah, which maybe it's too early to get into right now, but...
Oh, hell, let's talk about it. I mean, this one's pretty straightforward.
I just want to point out one other thing before we switch gears to, like, overarching plot stuff.
Yeah.
The only other thing I want to say is that, like, I love that they don't have any stasis pods anymore.
Yeah.
So all of the bots that they've captured are still able to communicate with them, and I kind of think that has potential for some hilarious setups in the next couple episodes.
Absolutely.
I do not want Thunderhoof to be silenced. I want him to give running commentary for the rest of the series.
You want a peanut gallery.
I do.
I too want a peanut gallery.
I also want them to do something before the rest of the series is up. I don't know if I want them to have to be forced to work with the Autobots to save their own skins, or if they're going to do a breakout. I don't know what I want them to do, but I want them to do something before the series is out.
I get the feeling that the relaxation alcoves are going to get trashed by the time we're done.
I would imagine so.
Like, I doubt that that's going to hold.
Yeah. Especially because, I mean, yeah, now that I think about it, Clampdown, his main job for the last few episodes was digging. Where are those cells?
But here's the thing. It's the most comfortable cell he's been in. The Autobots are taking care of him. And 75% of the people who want to wreck him are in the cells next to him.
I'm just saying.
He's safe.
I'm just saying that unless they are surrounded by rock bed, in terms of, like, of the walls of their respective cells, including the ground beneath them, they can probably just dig themselves out.
I mean, yeah, between Thunderhoof and the fact that we've seen everyone else dig, like,
He is a tractor.
Don't know why.
You just gotta turn around, Thunderhoof. Don't hit the bars. Hit the wall. You're gonna win against the wall.
No, he'll just break the floor.
Yeah,
That's
that
his
too.
thing.
Just dig. Anyway,
So
sorry.
yeah, so I don't.
I'm only just now realizing. I'm like, yeah, they could just dig their way out.
It's like, oh right, these aren't secure.
This is why we need stasis pods. Anyway, you want to switch gears and talk about Soundwave?
Oh, Soundwave.
Oh, Soundwave. So can I give a special shout out on Twitter real quick?
Yes, I was actually thinking of this when I drove in, and then I pulled up the hashtag and saw that and went, yep, thank you.
Yeah, so given that this was the second episode in a row that had nuclear waste and nuclear material being kind of a key component of this unknown strategy that that Soundwave is having Steeljaw and company implement, this was me going like, oh, okay, so the point of the nuclear waste in the last episode wasn't just to decimate a city. There was another purpose to it. Otherwise, they wouldn't be trying it again. And we had a wonderful comment from Romantic Caveman on Twitter who used our hashtag and says, radiation gave the B team combiner powers. And Soundwave is collecting radioactive material for some unknown purpose. And it has this wonderful GIF from Zootopia where it's just a zoom in.
Zooming in on Nick, realizing he's made poor life decisions. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. And then I was like, wait, how many cons do we have in this group, not including Soundwave? 5. We have 2 really big ones for the legs, and then we have the arms, and then we'd have Steeljaw as the head. Oh my god.
No, Soundwave is the head.
No, I don't think Soundwave would subject himself to this.
I disagree.
I do not think he would want to be part of this combiner. I think he'd want to be puppeteering it.
I'm getting like horrifying.
No, because Soundwave also has all 3 of the Decepticon hunters, so he can power himself up, or one of them could be the weapon. Ooh,
I'm
that's
just
a point.
saying, he has terrifying tentacles, and he already has a minicon attached to him 24/7. I really think that he's basically planning to make himself a super combiner, and he has the necessary willpower to be able to, to essentially be able to properly control multiple personalities, especially if they're minicons who are already subjected, under his service anyway. I don't know if Steeljaw would get roped into that, but yeah, I'm just picturing his terrifying tentacles grabbing onto unwilling bots and being like, you're a part of me now, you shall be assimilated. And I'm like, no, and it's scary.
And I honestly think that he's not going to make himself a part of the combiner because you have no idea what will happen. It could go wrong, and then if he loses control of it and someone else winds up the head, then he's in trouble.
I disagree wholeheartedly.
I sincerely do. If you're doing mad science, you don't put yourself in the middle of it. That's how you wind up with the fly.
No, you experiment on minicons first.
No, you experiment on other bots.
Yeah,
who
you
are
do
desperate.
that first. And we don't know how long. Happen to notice that not all of the Decepticons have come back?
Yeah, that I'm also thinking we have this team of 5. We break them out. We've already established that these cells are not hilariously secure. Let's be real. I really do think that Soundwave is going to be a lot more dance puppets dance than he is going to be intimately involved.
I'm seeing 2 possibilities. One is he is the combiner big bad, which again, I find terrifying and I think is the most plausible. The other thing is straight up mind control, like puppeteering via like Dark Energon or something like that. Menasor, it was those personality conflicts that prevented them from actually being able to do anything. Again, they've been falling upward. If Soundwave could just be like, if we just nix those little personality quirks, get this bot in line, he could actually be a force to reckon with.
This is true. It really could be either. Like,
do you want to make a bet?
No. Either way makes sense.
I'm thinking of the one that's going to give us a new toy.
Either of them will give us a new toy, let's be real. It's just
Depends.
whether or not Soundwave puts himself in the middle of the mad science. And I feel like it is uncontrollable enough that you try it out on something, and if it works on that something, then you go, oh, okay, using a process that works, I can now do it to me. Because Soundwave can also power himself up to, if I'm remembering this correctly, the level of a Prime with 3 Decepticon hunters.
Yeah.
Which he now has.
I will be the god of this new world.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So who even knows?
I 100% feel like he's gonna do it to himself. That's me.
We'll see.
Because he's been so absent, I don't see him being on the sidelines for much longer.
Oh, I didn't say sidelines. I just don't think he's going to be part of the Combiner. I can absolutely see him taking over this new personality that this Combiner creates and doing Dance Puppets Dance. But we have 5 new cons, or the return of 5 old cons, for a reason.
We haven't seen him fight in 2 seasons.
This is also true.
I'm talking about, again, making for the type of climax this show would go for. I feel like he would be the Combiner. That's just me. It could go either way.
We could also have multiple levels of climax.
That's true. I don't know. It's a giant. It's
Could
a giant
be
question
anything.
mark.
It could be anything. We still got like 6 more episodes to go, so it's like, all right, now
But
what?
I appreciate. Point being, I appreciate that Romantic Caveman because it was. I'm sitting here going like, what does he need nuclear waste for? And then like, of course, the answer is right there.
And we also have Lasergon doing the whole conspiracy board thing with B.
Oh, I loved that. I loved that little Photoshop. That was great.
That's fun.
Yeah.
All right, do we have anything else to cover for this episode, do you think? It was pretty straightforward.
I was just actually very surprised that basically this episode came this close to a nuclear meltdown.
We do that pretty often, though. We come close to global apocalypse, or at least localized crisis, a lot.
Yeah, but Crown City could have become the new Chernobyl, and that would have been terrible.
Yeah.
And B's response was like, okay, time to go, everyone, as opposed to disarming it or fixing it.
I do love that
Evacuate!
I do love that humans never label the off switch.
That was a pretty good line.
That is a terribly built control panel if the off switch isn't labeled. No. What the hell, guys?
No. Only other thing I want to say is that this was a good episode. A lot of really good forward momentum. A lot, again, it's nice to see the plot moving forward, and it's nice to get character development from characters who, you initially upon meeting them being like, oh, you're a Decepticon and you're a creep. Okay. Seem one no when you first are introduced to them. It's nice to get a little bit more development.
It is. It's been fun seeing these 5 and having them around.
Yes, exactly. I've missed them so much.
Yes. And we do have our nice little villain sign off of ready when you are. So it's like, okay, this'll be fun. And by fun, I mean...
Oh, Steeljaw, you want to be the big bad so bad.
He never is!
He wants to be the big bad wolf, and he'll never get to be it. He's just always someone's lackey.
Well, I mean, he managed a coup in season 2, and then he still got wrecked.
Yeah.
But we also still have Optimus somewhere on a super secret mission in uncharted space with Drift.
With Drift. And again, we're assuming investigating the Cybertronian Council. That's a huge assumption on our part. So yeah, I guess the big question is, when do Optimus and Drift and Windblade come back to sort of deal with the combined threat of whatever's happening on Cybertron?
I love that you included Windblade like it's a given.
I
love it.
We need her.
I want it. It's
need
good.
her. I will be so mad if this series ends and she doesn't come back.
I think you're probably going to be so mad.
Ah, dang it.
We also haven't seen Jazz in a dog's age. I mean...
We saw Jazz once.
I know.
Yeah.
It's been a dog's age.
Yeah. It's very sad.
It really is.
I miss him.
And now I just want to know what's happening on Cybertron. I'm back there again.
We always
This
come
is
back
where
there.
I live.
We always come back there. We always want to know what's going on Cybertron. I imagine we're going to get a Cybertron episode before we're done, or at the very least, we're going to get Optimus and Drift coming back and going, so here's what's been going on Cybertron. Oh my gosh, you guys, it's crazy.
What's been happening on Cybertron? That's not important. What's been happening here?
Do you honestly think the series is going to end without saying what's been happening on Cybertron?
I wouldn't be surprised.
No.
We've gone 4 seasons.
They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't do that. They wouldn't bring up stuff from Cybertron and the fact that these criminals were released on Cybertron without giving us bare minimum a little bit of exposition as to what's happening. Guys, this show
One
is
can
ending and
hope.
we're going insane. Help us. Someone help.
We have
Send
about
help.
2 hours left of stuff, basically.
No!
6 22-minute episodes.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah.
Oh. But yeah.
Renji in chat says, I want to see Bee's old team. Yes.
Who doesn't?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
RC and Ratchet and Bulkhead.
Oh, Bulkhead.
Bulkhead. Wheeljack would be another fun cameo too. He was like,
Smoke screen, though.
oh my god, smoke screen. He and Drift would
Hashtag
be like,
almost a prime.
or, not Drift. He and
Sideswipe.
Sideswipe it would be like looking into a mirror. I'm like, that was me. Whoa.
Oh, I'd want it, though. It would be amazing.
It would be hilarious.
Anyway, now that we have our ever-growing wish list.
6 episodes left. We just gotta get them all out there.
Well, I think we spent like the last 10 minutes doing predictions.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So can you think, is there anything else you want to cover?
Just I love strong arm focused episodes. Again, it's always nice to get those Cybertron nods. Clampdown was fun. Jim Cummings is the best. Troy Baker's voice is something that will never cease to bring me joy.
Yes.
All these things.
Beast Wars fan says, I want to see Shockwave return, sort of.
As long as Blur's nowhere in the vicinity, yes.
Yeah. Tankety tank, you guys. Man. He's like in a cave on Cybertron somewhere just noping out.
Wouldn't it be okay? This is not a prediction. This is definitely not a thing that's going to happen. But wouldn't it be funny if, like, our big bad combiner at the end of this season, that we're really building up to? Wouldn't it be funny if the B team didn't actually take it out? What if instead, all of a sudden, Rescue Bot's High Tide comes down and just crushes it, and Blur comes back? Hey guys, I heard I'm finally back and I brought help. You're welcome.
Oh my god, High Tide.
Oh, that was the name of the boat,
Wow.
right?
Yeah, I think so.
Or was that the name of the bot that
The
was
guy.
the pilot? Yeah, that was.
I think that was
the
the
name of the
guy.
captain. But you know what I'm talking about.
I know
the giant boat.
absolutely what you're talking about, and I would lose it laughing. That's not where we're gonna go.
It would come right out of nowhere and would make 0 sense, but it would be funny.
Like the Monty Python animated foot.
Yeah.
Just like
be like that Family Guy sketch. Whoa, thanks, Spider-Man. Everybody gets one. Thanks, Optimus.
I think that's about all we have.
Yep, that's all I
We
got.
we have wandered into beautiful
Sorry.
hypotheticals, but I think that's about all we've got. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us this week. It's been a blast. Megan, where can the people find you?
Hey, you guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at @themenguin. That's TheMenguin. I am also on a bunch of shows here at AfterBuzz. I write articles. I don't know why I can't talk tonight. I write articles for The Movie Chick. That's Chick with 2 Ks. Be sure to check those out. Be sure to also check out season 2 of The Shadow Radio Recreation, where I do the voice of Margot Lane.
It's okay, I haven't been able to talk for weeks. You can follow Alexis at ATORS890 on the social medias, and I am Katie Cullen. You can follow me all over the social medias, as well as YouTube and Twitch at Kiaxet, that is Kiaxet. We have a bunch of shows coming back. Voltron is back in 2 weeks. Star Wars Rebels is also back in 2 weeks, I believe. Holy cow. Arrow is back in 2 weeks. God, my life's going to get busy in 2 weeks. Z-Nation came back yesterday, and that's also on Mondays.
So much fun.
So much fun. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Crab people, crab people.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.